Disney films are known all over the world for their great animation, captivating stories, and lovable characters. It's too bad that behind all of that lies a sketchy production department that's constantly being accused of ripping off other stories, and all with good merit. Characters, songs, and whole plots. Nothing is safe when it comes to Disney stealing from the rest of Hollywood. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned at the end of the video to find out.
It's a surprise! Oh, flounder.
The Little Mermaid. Children of all ages love traveling under the sea to watch the adventures of Ariel, a mermaid who seeks out more than her everyday life. The film itself is known for great animation, a wonderful story, and a perfect villain in the form of Ursula. On top of all that, the film is packed with a lot of catchy songs that help move the story along. Along with Kiss the Girl and Under the Sea, one of the more popular songs in the film's soundtrack is Part of Your World.
Wish I could be part of that world.
The song represents Ariel's desires to be a land dweller. If the song sounds familiar, then it's probably for a good reason. The lyrics, message, and a flow in the song is directly ripped off from Little Shop of Horrors' song entitled Somewhere That's Green.
Somewhere that's green.
In the 1986 musical, the character of Audrey dreams of having a house with green grass, a picket fence, and a traditional home features. Alan Menken wrote the music for both Little Shop of Horrors and The Little Mermaid. In multiple interviews, he's admitted to basically stealing that song and repurposing it for Ariel's key moment in the Disney animation. At least Ariel didn't have to go face to face with a human-eating Venus flytrap.
What do you think of this? Yeah, that's it, kid.
Cars. Disney and Pixar's Cars could have been a huge miss or hit for the company. Fortunately, it was a hit that combined the clever design of Cars with a down-to-earth story about redemption, family, and life in small towns. If the movie really meant something to you, then you would probably love to watch Michael J. Fox star in the 1991 comedy Doc Hollywood. Cars is essentially a beat-by-beat remake of that film. Let's break down the elements a little. In Doc Hollywood, Michael J. Fox plays an overconfident doctor that eagerly travels cross-country to reach his destination in California. During his trip, he accidentally crashes and destroys a fence. For his punishment, he must work in the town where he learns to love and connect with the residents there. In Cars, Lightning McQueen is an overconfident driver that eagerly travels cross-country to reach his destination in California. During his trip, he accidentally destroys a whole city street. For his punishment, he must repair the road in the town where he learns to love and connect with the residents there. It's painfully obvious how much Cars is exactly like the movie, but Doc Hollywood never got any credit for the influence.
Oh, what about the time with the dinosaur?
Oh, definitely.
Inside Out. Traveling inside the brain of a developing child is a great concept for a movie, and Disney executed it well with the creation of Inside Out. The film turns a complicated concept into something that children can easily understand and process. Not only is the story funny and entertaining, but it can be used by children to learn a little more about how their brains process various emotions and feelings. According to a psychologist named Denise Daniels, she originally pitched the same idea to Disney as a full-length television pilot entitled The Moodsters. The characters in the series were named Happiness, Sadness, Anger, Love, and Fear. The only difference between the Moodsters and Inside Out is that disgust replaced love for the film. Daniels filed a lawsuit against Disney, claiming that she gave them the idea years before Inside Out was developed. The Moodsters is now a full line of educational toys, programs, and tools for educators and parents. The characters don't look exactly like the Disney counterparts, but you can easily see enough similarities to have a potential case. The court case is still ongoing, so there's no word on if Daniels' claims are actually legit or not.
What is wrong?
Oh, it's nothing. I just got something in my eye.
Atlantis, the Lost Empire. When Disney decided to produce Atlantis, the Lost Empire, they ventured into a whole new territory that had not been explored in recent years. The animated action-adventure featured a different style of animation, removed the catchy songs featured in films like The Lion King and Aladdin, and was aimed at older children rather than little youngsters. While the film is not as acclaimed as other Disney classics, it's not exactly the most original story either. Shortly after the release of Atlantis in 2001, fans couldn't help but compare the character, story, and plot points to the 1990 Japanese anime known as Nadia, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Just the character breakdown alone showcases all of the things that Disney ripped off. This includes the nerdy main character Milo, a heroine who wears a mysterious crystal pendant, a weapon-loving ship doctor, and a gunnery sergeant that sports a crop-top haircut and a mustache. Both films also take place around the same time, feature the same climactic moments with huge crystals, and focus on a power source that villains are trying to obtain for their own uses. There are way too many similar plot points for this to merely be a coincidence. It's clear that Disney took a lot of the same elements from Nadia.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
The Lion King. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion steals ideas. Since the 1990s, The Lion King has faced criticism about stealing ideas from a Japanese anime known as Kimba the White Lion. Sure, Kimba rhymes with Simba, but the copying goes way beyond that. The stories focus on family life. Each features a signature pride rock, and voice actor Matthew Broderick even thought he was reading for the part of Kimba and not Simba. Character comparisons have been made between Scar and Claw, the evil lions that both have issues with their eyes. Claw also has henchman warriors of his own, and to no one's surprise, they're also hyenas. Other similar characters include a baboon that imparts advice and a bird that looks a lot like Zazu. Disney spent years denying these connections, but co-director Roger Allers was actually living in Japan when the Kimba series was on the air. The creators claimed that the film was based a little bit on Hamlet, and there's definitely straight influence, designs, and characters taken from Kimba. With multiple sequels and television shows based off of The Lion King, maybe one day Disney will acknowledge the story content they used and create some type of crossover to make up for it.
I wonder what it'd be like to live there. And have servants and valets.
Aladdin. Aladdin was a huge part of the Disney Renaissance that occurred in the late 80s and early 1990s. Released along with other films like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and The Lion King, the movie was an instant classic with great voice casting, hit songs, and a fun rags-to-riches storyline. Unfortunately, the story of Aladdin was not only based on classic fairy tales, but it was stolen directly from an unreleased animated film known as The Thief and the Cobbler. The Thief and the Cobbler went through all kinds of production problems. The animated project actually took more than 30 years to make, and the movie was never properly completed. Warner Brothers wanted to have the film released before Aladdin, but that never happened, and they decided to just drop the project instead. After all of those years of animation, a number of the animators and story designers ended up working on Aladdin and clearly brought the same ideas. The Sultan is nearly identical in the film, and Jafar and Genie are essentially both based on the characters of Zigzag, right down to the talking parrot on his shoulder. It's hard to ignore this influence, and if the film was released on time, you have to wonder how different Aladdin would actually be.
Ah!
Hi, Mr. Frederickson.
Up. Up is an ambitious story that could have easily been a failure for Pixar and Disney, but ended up being a beloved tale about an old man living out the dreams that he and his wife once had. The film features many striking visuals, including the house that is carried by thousands of balloons and floats away through the sky. Many people love to praise Up for this completely original tale, but that may not be the case at all. In 2005, multiple years before Up was released, there was a short French film released called Above Then Beyond. The story follows a widow whose old house is situated right in the middle of a large city area. Sound familiar? After the old woman receives an eviction notice, she decides to craft a custom hot air balloon that is powered by her own fireplace. The next day, her house is lifted off the plot she lives on and floats up into the sky. It's uncanny how similar these elements are, and extremely obvious that Up drew inspiration directly from them. The film never gives any story credit to short French animation. It should have at least been included as some sort of bonus feature with the video release.
This is the day that you will always remember as the day that you...
Pirates of the Caribbean. When watching the Pirates of the Caribbean films, it kind of feels like watching a live-action video game. There are sword fights, zombie pirates, constant action, and some crazy sets that the actors travel across. There's good reason for this. The first 3 movies in the franchise heavily stole ideas from the video game franchise Monkey Island and its cancelled animated film. The similarities between the two are extremely hard to ignore. The undead pirate Captain Barbossa is almost exactly like LeChuck, the main villain in the Monkey Island series. The character of Will Turner shares a lot of the same characteristics character traits as the game's hero, Guybrush Threepwood, there are a lot of pirate movies, books, and content, but the connections between Monkey Island and Pirates of the Caribbean make sense. Screenwriter Ted Elliott worked on a draft of Monkey Island before the film was cancelled. He obviously took those ideas to Disney's pirate movie, stealing them directly from the LucasArts game series. Ideas from Monkey Island were spread through 3 different movies. Along with characters, you can see matching sets, coffin-shaped boats, and crazy voodoo ladies. Basically, the film should have been named Pirates of the Caribbean, Monkey Island.
You're not dead.
No.
All right, guys.
Dinosaur. For the release of Disney's Dinosaur, animators ditched their traditional style to present something that was more realistic in nature and features real backgrounds that were mixed with digital effects. The end result is a mixed bag with some strange animation and a far cry from animated dinosaurs we've seen in the past. It still makes it really hard to deny how much Disney's Dinosaur ripped off from The Land Before Time. And no, we're not talking about the 12+ sequels that the film has spawned. You just need to look back at the original Land Before Time to see how much was copied. In both films, there's a catastrophic event that causes the dinosaurs to get separated from their families. The dinosaurs then must team up with a group of friends to find a great valley where they can live peacefully for the rest of their days. Both groups of friends also find themselves going up against a giant predator trying to make them its next meal. Despite the modern technology, Disney's Dinosaur pales in comparison to the great animation and characters featured in The Land Before Time. You're better off watching the original instead of the Disney ripoff.
Olaf, you're melting.
Some people are worth melting for.
Frozen. When Frozen was first released, fans loved the original take on a Disney princess tale. The typical Disney prince turned out to be a villain. The true love in the story involved the bond between sisters, and the songs created an instant hit among fans. To help promote the film, the animators created a number of shorts featuring supporting characters like Olaf and Sven. One of these shorts showcases Olaf losing his carrot nose, and a battle between him and Sven to see who can retrieve it first. The silly plot and premise of this idea was taken directly from an animated short film entitled Snowman. In that film, the snowman goes up against a small rabbit that seeks out the carrot for his next meal. In both shorts, all of the characters end up on a frozen lake where the carrot slides across the ice. Each one also features a twist ending where the antagonist ends up actually helping the snowman return the carrot back to their face. The short film didn't end up in the final Frozen movie, but it is a bonus feature on many of the releases, and it's really clear how much they copied the other film. Well, there you have it. What Disney film is the most obvious ripoff? Are there any that we missed, or are they just a coincidence? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. And the answer to our emoji quiz is... Did you get it? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.